Hello everybody, Aaron the Nintintrovert here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, the day has finally come, something I've been hyping up for a long time now. We're about to start SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and as you can see, I'm wearing my Nickelodeon shirt, repping Nick here in the spirit of the game. Now, SpongeBob is not on this shirt, but you know, we can always use our imaginations. But no, we do have, who we got on here? We got Rugrats, Our Real Monsters. We got Ren and Stimpy. We got Rocco down there. We got what else we got? We got Arnold from Hey Arnold. Although it really bothers me, why does Arnold, I don't know how well you can see this, why does he have a lime green shirt on? In the show, his shirt's more of like it's like an aquamarine color. It's like more blue than green, but I don't know. But minor nitpick aside, it's still a nice shirt. I wanted to wear it and show it off. But anyway, let's get into Battle for Bikini Bottom. This is a childhood classic for a lot of people, I'm sure. You know, if you grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, it's very likely that you grew up on SpongeBob, and probably can quote pretty much every line from the first 3 seasons. You know, the impact of SpongeBob really can't be understated. This is kind of a side tangent, but you know, just as an example of that, when I was in college, for a brief time, I dated this Chinese girl who was studying abroad over here in the U.S. as part of like an exchange program and everything, and yeah, you know, we talked a little bit about SpongeBob, and I remember like the day that Steven Hillenburg, the guy who created SpongeBob, passed away. She was already back in China at this point. Poor SpongeBob's face is covered up here by by my webcam, but yeah, I remember her texting me about it. It's just kind of crazy to think about the kind of impact somebody could have. Like, you know, to think Steven Hillenburg probably never would have expected to leave behind that legacy. You know, to die, and know that people all around the world, like all the way in China, you know, were aware of his passing. Like when it happened, you know, I mean, he, in some ways, you could say almost entered celebrity status there, because SpongeBob is just such a huge deal to so many people, and for good reason. The writing was so good on the show. The character designs are iconic. The premise, you know, there's what other cartoons are there that take place underwater? There's been a couple since SpongeBob, but before that, there was like Snorks or something like that, which was a weird, like, one of those things. I'll go ahead and start a new file here before I continue rambling, but I think there was one called like Snorks, maybe from like the 80s or something, that was almost like a, I don't know, back in that time, like Hanna-Barbera was doing a bunch of weird like knockoffs of their own properties. So they did you know, the Smurfs, and then it was like Snorks. It was like the same thing but underwater. But other than that, I don't feel like there was really a whole lot of other shows you know, that was doing that sort of thing. You know, so very unique. I think even when Steven pitched the show, he did this whole thing where he like brought in like a aquarium and stuff, because he had this background as a marine biologist, so he was really passionate about sea life and stuff. But yeah, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, I thought it was amazing when they remade this game from the ground up. It was something I'd really wanted them to do for a long time, but it just seemed like such a pipe dream, you know. But after the success of the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, and then the following year you had the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and there was just this growing trend of companies remastering these old, you know, beloved 3D platforming, you know, classics from our childhood back in the PS1, PS2, Nintendo 64, GameCube days. But yeah, it happened. There was enough fan demand for it, evidently, and from my understanding, it, you know, sold pretty well. It even got a sequel that released last year in SpongeBob the Cosmic Shake. Personally, I don't love that game. It's okay, but Battle for Bikini Bottom is where it's at. I adore this game. I always have. I think even if you were to remove all of the SpongeBob licensing and make this its own original IP, like the main character's named Randy, and it was called Randy's Adventure or something, but it still played exactly the same, it would still be a great game. This isn't a good game because it's like, oh, well, it would be a mediocre licensed game, but it's got a popular, you know, brand attached to it. Like, it's a good game in its own right. You know, and it's, I'm glad we're getting back to this era of these companies, these multimedia entertainment companies, actually giving a darn about their products and wanting to make something that you know, that resonates with customers. because man, there was like I know when the second SpongeBob movie came out, like Sponge Out of Water, back in like I don't know 2014 or something like that. It was. They had like a licensed game that released alongside the movie to tie into it. I think it might have been called like SpongeBob Hero Pants, and it's just garbage, shovelware. Like there's not even any. I don't think there's even any background music. It's so cheap. It's like a full price like bad mobile game that you would play that's like free with ads. The game didn't have ads, but I'm just saying it was the quality of like a mobile game like that you would expect, that you would download off the App Store and not actually pay anything for. Patrick's speaking in tongues here, but But yeah, it's a great game. I have so much nostalgia for it from back on the GameCube, and yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park for the most part with the remaster. I know it's some people like it more than others. There's some people that say they prefer the original, that they think the remake missed the mark in some regards, but I don't know. To me, it lived up to all of my expectations. It's the same great game I loved. It doesn't really make any real quality of life improvements, but I don't really feel that Battle for Bikini Bottom necessarily needed that. It's just the same game, but it looks 10 times prettier. It actually looks like the show instead of looking like cursed nightmare fuel, So yeah, I think we're about to transition to gameplay. But yeah, the premise is that Plankton, of course, wants to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Yeah, Gary, it sure looks like we're in a
in so doing, he creates all these robots, but he loses control of them, and they start running amok. So it's up to us. It's up to SpongeBob to go out there and set things straight and defeat these robots, because SpongeBob thinks he's responsible because him and Patrick made a wish or something with their magic conch shell that their toy robots would come to life. So he thinks it's all his fault.
Read the signs.
Yeah, SpongeBob being naive and easily manipulative as always. Easily manipulated, I should say, not manipulative.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're about to get right into the gameplay here. Just skip through these lines here. It's just kind of going over tutorial information. But yeah, here we go. I love this game so much. It looks so good. It really just pops in in HD and everything, and just like on a OLED television screen. It looks so good. There's so many nods to the show. We got a bowl of Kelpo cereal up there. It's good stuff. But yeah, I'm really excited to finally be getting around to playing this game, because 3D platformers are my favorite genre of video games. What's this up here? Oh, is that volcano sauce like Sandy put on SpongeBob's tongue? I'm looking at that item there in the middle, where it's like, I declare this particular drop of hot sauce to be really, really hot. I'm pretty sure that's what that's supposed to be. By the powers of naughtiness, he says. Let's read this note here.
A note from Mr. Krabs. And it even smells sweaty, just like him.
Oh, SpongeBob. He needs help.
Ahoy there, SpongeBob!
Now,
As a faithful crew member of the Krusty Krab, you've been
I'll wait till Mr. Krabs gets done talking.
promoted to head shiny object collector.
Wow! A promotion!
Yeah, so they got back pretty much all of the original voice cast for this game, but they didn't get Clancy Brown, unfortunately, who is the voice of Mr. Krabs. Get back to work, SpongeBob. Instead they got this weird imitation Krabs that's really just not... doesn't do that good.
That's right, a promotion! So what this here new job entails is you collecting all these shiny objects that the robots are leaving behind and bringing them to me. Now stop seahorsing around and get busy collecting.
I don't know. I feel like they didn't even hire a voice actor. They were just like, let's get somebody from the development team to come in and do these lines for us who can who in the studio can do the best Mr. Krabs voice. But I don't know, it ain't that great, to be honest. We got SpongeBob riding Mystery. But yeah, the remake, they added a lot of extra references to the show that weren't in the originals, even some of the later seasons. Most people will tell you that, the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob are the best. I 100% agree with those sentiments, because after that, the movie, everybody probably knows this, just common knowledge, but
is where I keep all my old
worth
comic
repeating
books.
just in case somebody doesn't know. But the series was supposed to end with the movie that came out in 2004. That was intended to be SpongeBob's swan song, but the creator of the show, Steven Hillenburg, he was kind of ready to be done with it. He didn't want SpongeBob to jump the shark, as they say, which is where a show stays on TV for way longer than it should, and kind of the quality just continually goes down and down. And yeah, I think the term jump the shark comes from, I think there's like an episode of Happy Days or something where Fonzie jumps a shark, and it was just kind of just a very out of left field and just kind of ridiculous scenario that just kind of became synonymous with this type of trope in TV of just a show kind of going off the rails and becoming a ghost of its former self, more or less. Grabbed a sock, so Patrick has a bunch of lost socks that we have to find throughout the game, and that's our first one here. But yeah, and Steven was 100% right. He was kind of prophetic about that. SpongeBob indeed jumped the shark after he left. So maybe if he had stuck around, he could have helped, curate some of the quality. I was watching a video of Scott the Woz ranting about this the other day, about how they added like this picture in SpongeBob's house, because in the episode The Salty Spittoon, it's actually a gag where this isn't really SpongeBob, it's just somebody who looks like him, because then SpongeBob shows up and he's got a rainbow colored wig on. So SpongeBob's just got this random stranger in his house that isn't even him. But I do like how they've got just random screen grabs from the show up on the wall. Oh, and Gary was doing his little eye tapping thing like from the Jellyfish Jam episode. That was cute. I hadn't seen that idle animation before. And there's our first golden spatula. So this game has 100 golden spatulas to collect, kind of like Mario 64, where we got to get all of the all the stars, etc. There's a bunch of 3D platformers that have collectibles like this in Banjo-Kazooie. You got to get the Jiggy's little puzzle pieces, and then you got what else? Jack and Daxter, you're getting the power cells, and just insert collectible here. In this case, it's
there was nothing like the sound
golden spatulas. So yeah, but here's our
Go
little
away, SpongeBob. You're polluting my thinking
plankton
space.
stock in our little hub area. I try to be quiet when the characters, the NPCs are
Trying to
talking.
steal the Krabby Patty formula again, eh, Plankton? Well, you won't get away with it.
I've got bigger fish to fry. I've got to figure out how to regain control of the chum bucket from those robots.
Where did they come from?
Where? I don't know. Not for me, though, that's for sure. They just showed up out of nowhere and started calling me rude names and throwing things. They even bent all my spoons. I love those spoons like they were my children.
That's terrible.
Oh, won't you help me stop them? Before they bend all my forks?
Not the forks! Of course I'll help. But wait, I'm supposed to collect a whole lot of golden spatulas.
Golden spatulas, eh? SpongeBob, if you could get me back into the chum bucket, I'll give you a bucket full of golden spatulas. In your dreams.
You've got a deal.
It's foreshadowing, because there is a dream level later on that we'll be doing. I don't think Plankton gives us any golden spatulas in that level, though. That would have been a fun little reference there. But yeah, I think the graphics on this just look so good. They really did a great job just capturing the look and feel of like an episode of SpongeBob, like we're in the world of Bikini Bottom. But yeah, what I was saying, this is our little hub area here, which does have some spatulas that we can collect, but most of them will be found within the levels themselves. We can jump and press the circle button to do a little butt bounce. Because I am playing this on PlayStation for multiple reasons. I do have the Nintendo Switch version, but graphically, we're probably going to run out of time here. We might have to do it again here, activating the switches. Yeah, we're definitely running out of time. But yeah, this game, I played it on PlayStation because for one thing, I can just get over here with a jump. Nope,
I feel
not
like
quite.
a new sponge.
Can we? Okay, we can't even get on the door there. All right, let's do this again. We should have plenty of time here. But yeah, the Switch version of this game is still good. I don't know if I can give it a strong recommendation because the if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox or whatever, you're better off getting it there. Because of course, like with the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro remakes, you get a much higher frame rate on PlayStation, and then, or more consistent frame rate, I guess I should say. Although the Crash Insane trilogy really didn't have a bad frame rate or anything. Oh, there's Bubble Buddy. But another problem, there's a lot of pop-in on Switch. It's pretty constant. The draw distance is not great, so you're constantly seeing like seaweed and like trees and crap. I guess it's trees. I don't know. Well, they're underwater, so I don't know whatever plants they are that act as trees in this universe just pop in constantly. But anyway, let's listen to what Bubble, almost said Bubble Bass. It's a very different character. What Bubble Buddy has to say.
Bubble Buddy.
You see, you're going to need to learn some new bubble-blowing moves if you're going to journey to the 9th dimension and defeat the giant monkey man.
Reference. That's when Patrick wants to win an award and he starts copying SpongeBob.
But all I need to do is figure out how to get rid of these robots.
Speaking of Patrick, there he is in the background.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I've been in the soap bottle a little too long. Where were we?
Something about new bubble moves.
Been in the soap bottle a little too long. I feel like that should be like a slang for like being drunk or something. Like, oh man, I do not feel good. I was vomiting over the toilet. I've been in the soap bottle all morning. I don't know. Something about that just sounds like it would fit as a metaphor for being hungover.
Right! Press this button and you'll launch yourself straight up in the air with bubble power that defeats anything that is directly above you.
Yeah,
Try
we got it. See how we can break these tiki things and get goodies? They literally just call these shiny objects. They couldn't come up with a better name for them than that. But these are literally just called shiny objects that we're going around and picking up. These Hawaiian flower-shaped little colorful little doodads here. We can't go inside of people's houses, so before we talk to Patrick, let's go inside of Squidward's house real quick, and we will talk to Mr. Krabs later as well. But another reason to play this game on Switch, or on the PlayStation instead of Switch, is...
Those stupid robots ruined a perfectly relaxing mud bath this morning, and now you show up. Can my day get any more dreary?
This is going to be a lot of me having to shut up to listen to the characters in this game, because I don't want to talk over all the dialogue. I did during the opening cutscene, because frankly I don't think the intro to the game is very interesting. It's kind of boring and it goes on for a pretty long time, but anyway. But yeah, so on the controller here, so you press X to jump on the bottom here, and then you press square to use your spin attack, so it's very handy having these two buttons right next to each other. For whatever reason on Switch you jump with A, which is located here where the circle button is, and then you attack with Y, which is where square is, so you're having to kind of reach your hand far around. Like, it's very awkward. A lot of people have complained about that with the Switch version, and there's not really an easy way to remap it, so that's kind of annoying.
I am so sorry, Squidward. Patrick and I were just playing a game and...
Oh, I correct myself. I should have known that whole robot problem involved both of you.
Squidward, I don't know what to do. How can I fix everything?
Why don't you move to another town? That should help out more than enough. Move to another town. I cracked me up. But seriously, just jump around like an idiot. That should at least make me smile.
I didn't know Squidward had a lamp.
Alright, but why does Squidward have this painting here in his home of from the episode
I didn't know Squidward had a lamp.
Just One Bite episode, that's it, where he's like, does this face look unsure to you? But yeah, we just go around.
Okay, just stop jumping, will you?
Cause mayhem in his house, and he'll give us a golden spatula to make us leave.
See, Squidward? I knew that you could help me out. You're the best.
Don't touch me.
But I really like this over here, where the stuff on his shelf, it's just kind of like just a flat, like it's not 3D modeled, it's just kind of like a sprite that's just kind of the outline drawn, because it's kind of like they would have stuff like that in the show in the background, especially on the early seasons, where they don't necessarily fill it in. Just kind of Ed and Eddie does that a lot too, just kind of just a very rough outline because like you're not going to be paying too much attention to the background. So that's kind of cute. We destroy this little thing over the fireplace there, the little mantle here, and we got a sock, so we'll grab that.
You! Patrick needs to do laundry.
Oh, there's Handsome Squidward. So yeah, that's from the later seasons. This game originally came out in like 2003, I believe. The Handsome Squidward, I think maybe it was from like an episode from maybe 2005 or 6 or something. So with the remake, they pull from a lot more modern SpongeBob like memes and stuff. I really like the writing in this game. That's part of the reason I'm shutting up whenever there's dialogue, because there are some pretty funny jokes in there. Because I believe the writers who worked on classic SpongeBob, also did the dialogue for this game. And this game, I should say, was developed by THQ, and then the remake by THQ Nordic, which was kind of their rebranding or whatever, because I guess there was a company merger or whatever. But let's talk to Mr. Krabs and listen to his questionable voice acting.
SpongeBob, this flapping robot crisis is making the Krusty Krab lose money like a sinking ship. No money means no more Krusty Krab. No more Krusty Krab means no more fry cooking for you.
Yeah, I think they originally, for the remake, did want to bring in Clancy Brown, but, Nickelodeon, I guess, wasn't maybe giving them the budget to do that, because I've heard Clancy's kind of more, a little bit more expensive when it comes to, doing voice work and stuff, but let me see if I can do at least a little bit of a better SpongeBob imitation, or Mr. Krabs imitation here. SpongeBob, this flapping robot crisis is making the Krusty Krab lose money like a sinking ship. I skipped that other. Oops. I was gonna read that other one. No money means no more fry cooking. I don't know what the rest of what he said because I accidentally skipped it, but.
But because you're gullible, I'm gonna help you out, and of course make a small profit in return. I've got a few golden spatulas that I'll be willing to trade to you for some of those shiny objects.
So yeah, if we bring him
Your
enough.
treasure chest's looking a bit light.
How many does he want? 3,000. So if we get 3,000 of them, let's just murder this crustaceous cheapskate right now and just get it over with. But yeah, if we bring him enough, then he'll give us a golden spatula for that. I think there's maybe like 8 we can get from Mr. Krabs, and then like 8 we can get from Patrick for finding his lost socks. Oh well, this is it's a little awkward.
Hey, Patrick. Nice sock.
What sock?
The one you're standing on.
Oh, that one. It's lost.
Well, if that one's lost, where are your other socks?
Oh, they're more lost. A bunch of robots came through here and stole my whole sock collection. I could use some help getting them back.
Sure thing, Patrick. What are best friends for?
Okay then, for every 10 socks you bring back to me, I'll give you a golden turkey baster.
You mean spatula?
Bless you.
Boy, Patrick will be glad to have this back. I love opening presents.
So we got our third sock there, so we got to find 10 of them at a time and bring them to Patrick, even though Patrick doesn't wear socks. But let's head on to the first level. We're going to Jellyfish Fields. Jellyfish Fields. I think the announcer actually does say that. We get the French narrator coming on.
The rolling green hills of Jellyfish Fields.
Oh, that's kind
a
of close.
place to experience nature at its most raw, and sometimes a bit tender from the stings.
Squidward being tortured as usual. He just randomly stops running. I feel like he could have gotten away there, but I don't know. He just resigned to his fate, I guess.
Squidward, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, you barnacle head. Do I look like I'm okay?
Well, your nose does look pretty big. I mean, bigger than usual because it's usually pretty big. And you look clammy. And oh my gosh, you're bald!
And then they add this face from the movie, of course, which also came out after this. But you know, we gotta bring in the memes.
Always been bald, but now I'm stung all over.
Well, according to the Jellyfisher Field Manual, severe jellyfish stings can be treated effectively by applying a thick layer of king jellyfish jelly to the affected areas. King jellyfish?
Well, I guess you're off to scale Spork Mountain and die a horrible death under the vicious tentacles of King Jellyfish.
What's it called, Spork Mountain?
I'll stay here, balled up here in excruciating pain.
I feel like that's a little redundant. He said, I'll stay here, balled up here in excruciating pain. He didn't need to say the word here twice in that sentence. He could have just said, I'll stay here, balled up in excruciating pain. Or he could have said, I'll stay balled up here in excruciating pain. It just seems a little redundant to have here twice in that sentence. I'm sorry, I'm an English major, so forgive me that I'm going to go off on a little tangent.
Do that! Don't worry, Squidward. I'll bring back that king jellyfish jelly for you to rub all over yourself.
Sounds very suggestive for you to rub all over yourself. Gotta love Tom Kenny's voice work. I have had the pleasure of meeting Tom Kenny at a fan expo. That was back in 2018, I believe it was. And then I also got to meet Roger Bumpus, who was the voice of Squidward. I think it was about a year ago now. I met him at another convention. I met Tom Kenny in Lexington. And
Can't jellyfish today.
I was
I'm going
in
fishing for robots.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where I met Roger Bumpus. I also went to a convention here. I talked about it in my I don't remember if it was my
Like a
Mario
spring
World
breeze.
playthrough, but yeah, I went to a convention and got to meet Carlos Alazraqui, who. He's done some of the more minor characters on SpongeBob. He's been around as long as Tom Kenny was, though. They both got their, well, I guess it was his start. I know it was Tom Kenny's start on Rocko's Modern Life. Tom Kenny played Heifer, and Carlos Alazraqui played the titular character Rocco. But he does have some voices on SpongeBob, like the I don't know what his name is, but like the purple surfer fish guy who's always like he'll talk like, dude, you are hilarious. And he'll do that sort of laugh. But yeah, that's Carlos Alazraqui, which I didn't actually realize that until I went to the comic convention that he did that. But yeah, he might be some other minor characters on SpongeBob. I'm not sure. Yeah, it would be awesome to get some of the other to meet some of the other SpongeBob voice cast. But I don't really know how many of them do like cons and stuff. I know when I met Roger Bumpus, who does Squidward, he was telling me that like Clancy Brown doesn't normally go to those sorts of things, or there was someone else. It might have been Bill Foggerbocke who does Patrick. He might have said that he also doesn't typically go to like conventions to do like autographs or anything. I guess they'll go to you'll see him sometimes do like a panel at San Diego Comic Con, like the big one. But just as far as going around the country to every state and stuff, they don't really do that sort of thing from my understanding. Yeah, I imagine Mr. Lawrence doesn't either. He's the guy who does the voice of Plankton. He also did Bubble Buddy there, and he did the chocolate guy from the Chocolate with Nuts episode. He does Larry the Lobster. He's got his fingerprints all over the show. Plus, he's one of the lead writers, or at least he was. I'm not sure if he still writes for the show or if he's only voicing Plankton now. We activate a little switch here so we can go over across these barrels, because SpongeBob, as we all know, can't swim, even though he lives underwater, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I guess people have explained, like, well, I guess water levels can have different levels of density, so maybe if it's more dense, SpongeBob would have a harder time. And I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist, and unfortunately, Stephen is no longer with us for me to ask him the scientific explanation behind it. But it was very sad when Stephen Hillenburg passed away. That was back in, I don't know, maybe like 2019. It was some time ago. But I believe he died of Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as ALS, which is just a very hellish thing to have. I can't imagine living, with that. It's kind of, from my understanding of it, I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that's what he died of. But I remember when I was in high school,
Fresh like a
I
spring
was taking,
breeze.
dual credit college level English classes in high school, and my teacher, Miss Brock, had us read this book that was like based on a true story called Tuesdays with Maury, about this guy, reconnecting later in life with his
Gary, what's
former
shaking?
university professor, whose name was Maury, and he had ALS, and it's just this condition where I think it's like a neurological disorder, I guess, where it's like your body shuts down, but it kind of starts with your extremities, like you lose function. I believe and correct me if I'm misrepresenting the condition, but I think like your arms and legs will shut down, like you'll lose mobility there, and then gradually other parts of your body to where you're eventually just like, it's like you're just trapped in a shell of your body. It's kind of like you become paralyzed like entirely, from your whole body, and then eventually everything just shuts off entirely. So I can't imagine living with that. I'm pretty sure that's what Stephen had, but his memory will live on forever. I know he was very beloved by a lot of people. But on a lighter note, let's hear what Gary has to say.
Meow! Meow!
Meow. I believe Gary is also voiced by Tom Kenny, who of course does SpongeBob. Meow, meow.
Wow, a bungee jump for a golden spatula! I must be in heaven!
I love all the little animations they added, such a nice little touch. But yeah, this is our first level, Jellyfish Fields, and it's very reminiscent, I think, of, in Mario 64, you start off the first level as Bob on Battlefield. And you can really tell for their first level here in SpongeBob, they really take a cue out of Bob on Battlefield. Like, we had a cannon that was launching at us that we took out. It was just shooting an endless supply of puffer fish at us. Kind of reminiscent, in Battle for Bikini Bottom, you had, cannons that would be shot at you, like these like water bubbles, I guess, that were getting shot at you from cannons. And, the whole thing, you were scaling this big mountain to get to the top where you would fight the boss, which was King Bob-omb. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're having to scale this big mountain and get to the top where we're going to fight, King Jellyfish. So yeah, you can tell there's a lot of Mario 64 inspiration, and you'll even see more up ahead where we have a slide section, like how Mario 64 has Princess Peach's secret slide, and then you've got like a slide level in like Cool Mountain and stuff. So yeah, you can really tell they took a lot of inspiration, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's not like they completely plagiarized or anything. Some games you can call like a such and such clone, like you've got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and then you've got like Multiverses that are Smash Brothers clones. You've got Crash Team Racing, that's a Mario Kart clone, and then you've got Battle for Bikini Bottom here, which is in many ways a Mario 64 clone. And that might sound kind of offensive, or like I'm disrespecting this game, but I really don't mean that in a bad way. Some of my favorite games are what you might call a clone game, where it's like, you're not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but you're just kind of taking a look at something another developer did and saying, hey, I bet we can do that at least as good, if not a little bit better. Not that I necessarily think this game's better than Mario 64, which is an all-time classic, but there are some aspects of this game where I am like, yeah, I think they did kind of do that better than Mario 64, like the slide sections. The one we'll be getting to up ahead, there's not really a lot to say about it because it's the first one. But there's like entire levels of this game that's nothing but just like slides, and they've got all these different branching paths you can do. So it's like the Mario 64 slides, but on steroids. It's awesome. But yeah, like those levels are definitely the highlight of this game. I'm excited for when we get to like the Sand Mountain and then SpongeBob's Dream World, which are have like a whole bunch of slides. It's some of the highlights of the game. But just look at the scenery here. I think they really knocked this remake out of the park. And the remake, it came out in 2020, so that was kind of during the height of the COVID pandemic. Yeah, one of the few games that really came out that year, because I feel like a lot of games ended up getting delayed into the following year or whatever. But
Patrick will be glad
yeah,
to
this
have
one,
back.
I guess they were far enough in development that they weren't too affected by the pandemic. Because I know Animal Crossing came out that year, but other than that, like, I don't know, Nintendo came out with kind of a lazy compilation of a few Mario games. It was Mario 3D All Stars that was just really kind of overpriced for what it was, to be honest. Then they also had like a port of Pikmin 3, which was already on the Wii U. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of original games that came out in 2020 because of the pandemic, but this right here was definitely a big highlight for me. This kind of helped make 2020 worthwhile. But yeah, I think, is this where we meet Mermaid Man?
Wow, Mermaid Man! I have all your comics and toys
That's
and
right.
mail.
Now, Mermaid Man is the other character like Mr. Krabs, where they did not get the original voice actor, unfortunately. His name's Ernest something, Ernie something, I forget what his last name is. Unfortunately, he's deceased now, so they wouldn't have been able to bring him back for the remake anyway, even if they did. Even if Nickelodeon did give them the budget to go back and get the original voice cast, because he passed some years before that. I don't really remember when he died, but also Barnacle Boy, his voice actor passed away as well. His name, I believe, is Tim something. But yeah, they do have Barnacle Boy's original voice in this, though, because he was in the game originally when they did it back in 2003. But let's hear what they have to say here.
Huh? What? Oh, yeah, it's that Sponge kid. And now, what was I supposed to tell you?
Like with Mr. Krabs, they really didn't do a good job
That
finding a
Patrick
good
is
match for the
surrounded by
voice.
robots and needs my help.
Huh? Oh, no. I think it had something to do with massaging my feet.
Well, if massaging your feet will save Patrick, then massage I must.
Help! They're making me hit myself!
Massaging your feet isn't working. I think I'd better try a more direct approach.
By clipping my toenails?
Here I come, Patrick!
Oh, I love the writing in this game. The dialogue's so on point with the show. Just beat up Mermaid Man here. Yeah, I'm a little concerned how enthusiastic SpongeBob was to massage Mermaid Man's feet, but we won't read too much into that. But yeah, this is our first little slidey section here. We've got a secret route here where we can get a sock, and there's another sock.
I should do it again sometime.
And now
Another
these,
time for
boxes, it's like from the Imagination episode, are used to teleport. So we hop in here, and this will take us back up to the top. They did kind of remove an animation in the remake here, where before when you got in it, the box would close, but it doesn't do that in this one for whatever reason. But that's kind of a minor nitpick. Okay, yeah, now we got a little gauntlet of enemies we're going to have to take down here to rescue Patrick. Got to shut down all of those machines that are mass-producing the little robot menaces. Is that the plural for menaces? Menaces? I don't know.
You've just met the Spongeinator.
Weird Terminator reference.
Pushing
You just
a simple
met the
button is the most
Spongeinator.
satisfying. Push, 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 push.
But yeah, I love all the little, details they've got here with the, it's not grass, we're underwater, so this is, I guess, either kelp or seaweed. Just all the little, the foliage that they added, and just like, all the bubble particle effects that really make it look like you're underwater. The remake looks every bit as good as I would have imagined it to look. I think they really, I think I've said, I think this is like the third time I've said this, but I think they've just really knocked it out of the park on this game. And there were, when the remake first came out, there were a few minor like glitches and bugs and things, but they patched a lot of those out. There may still be a couple, but it's not anything huge. It's still. I still think this is the definitive way to play the game.
SpongeBob!
Hey, SpongeBob.
Whew! Thank goodness you're safe, Patrick.
Well, of course, SpongeBob. Why wouldn't I be?
Well, the robots and the...
Oh yeah, I found this for you. I don't know what it is, but it looks important.
Thanks, Patrick. I tell you what, all that running around has left me pooped. Why don't you continue on for a bit?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy,
Now we're going to play as Patrick for a while, and he controls pretty similarly to SpongeBob, but not quite as good. He's still got his double jump and everything. He can do this sort of belly bump here. He can do a sort of a ground pound move. My controller's dying, that's not a good sign. But one thing he can do, SpongeBob can, is that he can pick up certain objects like these watermelons here and throw them to hit switches. Yeah, there we can do just a full body dive. I thought that's what he was going to do before, but I guess if you just do a singular jump, he just does a butt bounce and then pulls his pants up. But if you do a double jump and then flop down, then it, I guess, has more of a range to it, and he face flops and then he pulls himself up by his head. I like that. You hear kind of a suction-y sort of noise. And then if we go here to these bus stops, we can switch back to SpongeBob. But I believe we have to stay Patrick for a while. Who's this guy? Did Mindy give him one of those fake mustaches from the SpongeBob movie? It's kind of what it looks like. But anyway, let's pick up this watermelon here. One watermelon coming up. No, that's always easy. One watermelon fresh from the manure field, your ghostliness. From the Squidward, the Unfriendly Ghost episode. That's probably why they had watermelons. I never thought about it until now, but that would make sense. That's why they have Patrick pick up watermelons. We can also pick up these things, which, you know, I guess in some ways you could say this game, ow. Okay, well, Patrick didn't want to throw it for some reason. But in some ways, I guess, is a little bit of a Crash Bandicoot clone, because, you know, in Crash Bandicoot, you're breaking all these boxes, and then you've also got the red TNT ones that'll explode after a few seconds, which is kind of just like how those red tikis function. Let's hear what Patrick's Plankton say here.
Rock, I am at your command.
Down here, you big pink lummox.
Oh, hi there, Mr. Plankton. Are you going to vaporize me today?
So very tempting. Unfortunately, I found myself in the undesirable position of having to assist you.
I was in an undesirable position yesterday, and now my neck hurts.
Keep it in the bedroom, Patrick. We don't want to hear about the weird positions that you're getting in with, I don't know. Who would love Patrick? It's best not to think about it too hard. Let's just keep
Heed
going.
my words, my large future minion. Go into Jellyfish Cave. Follow the instructions on the signs that you see. At the end of the caves, you'll still be a big pink idiot, but you'll know enough to help defeat the robots and get me back into the chum bucket.
Well, then will you vaporize me?
I might spare your life so I can force you to work in my sweatshop making low-quality design and knockoff wallets.
Oh, thank you!
Man, Plankton sounds like he should work for the Chinese government. He's going to put Patrick in a sweatshop, making low-quality products. And we're in this little cave area here. Look out for these lava rocks, I guess, coming out of the little geysers there. Hit these two switches. And this first level is a very long level. This is probably the longest level in the game. I'm not even sure. This is like, we're maybe halfway done. I'll probably end this episode of the playthrough once we finish out Jellyfish Fields, but if we do that, it's going to be a very long first episode. So it's easily going to be over an hour if we do that. So I don't know. We'll see. We might end it early. I don't know. I just think about it. Yeah, we're already 43 minutes into the recording, so I don't know. This is probably gonna be a long episode. It's gonna take very long for this to upload and publish to YouTube, but that's okay.
Ooh, a present in every one!
Maybe that's good for the algorithm. Maybe people will prefer longer content. I asked that question once before, but let me know how long you like your videos to be. I personally wouldn't mind them being a little bit longer. Like, you know, when I'm watching YouTube myself, you know, I enjoy sitting down and watching a 1 hour, 2 hour long video, you know, watch it while I'm eating my dinner or whatever. Maybe if I don't finish it in one sitting, I'll come back to it later, and when I'm eating my next meal, I'll watch some more of it. But I don't know how everybody prefers to consume their YouTube content. I feel like people's attention spans are so much shorter now with, like, TikTok and stuff where you're just mindlessly scrolling through these like 1-minute videos and going from one to the next. So I don't know. People maybe would prefer just 15-minute videos or something, but I don't know. I prefer keeping them at least 30 to 45 minutes. I think it's kind of a good balance. But this one's definitely, I think, going to veer closer to an hour, maybe even an hour and 20 minutes or something. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I don't know why I love Patrick's animation. I think it looks so stupid when he's just walking on the ice here. And he's got his little arms behind him, almost like he's doing a Naruto ninja run or something. But it's also just so derpy. It just looks, his arms and stuff, he's not holding him straight and stiff like a ninja would. It's all kind of floppy and noodly, so I don't know. Destroy this machine here. And then one of these signs here tells you this move you can do that I really never use after this point in the game. When you do Bowser, why did I say Bowser? Do Patrick's belly flop, and you can stun enemies, and when they're stunned you can pick them up and toss them, but that pretty much never comes into play outside of needing it for this one very specific condition here. Yeah, we're just continuing to make our way to the top of the mountain here. I believe this is where we run into Mrs. Puff, if I'm not mistaken.
Ahoy there! Squidward
No, that is
tells
not
me you're
Mrs.
looking
Puff.
for the king jellyfish.
Yes.
Yes.
Good thing, too. That monster has been stinging all my good customers in their poop decks. I hear that you can find him up top of Old Sport Mountain here. Go hook that beast, sailor!
Oh boy, Mr. Krabs. I'll see what I can do.
Mr. Krabs' eyes when I just belly flopped in there like he's had enough of Patrick's crap. He looks like he's ready to murder me whenever I do that. Just so angry, and then his eyes. Here we got these tartar sauce guys here who want to mess up our day. I guess that would be pretty traumatic for a sea creature if you're just getting pelted with tartar sauce, just knowing that that's what humans use to eat you. I've never actually tried tartar sauce myself, but I don't think I would like it. I don't eat like mayonnaise or anything like that, so it'd just be, I don't know, it just seems kind of nasty to me, but you know, to each his own. But not for me, which I'm a very picky eater in general. There's a lot of foods I don't eat.
This one goes boom. Don't think SpongeBob's underwear fits quite right.
Think SpongeBob's underwear fits quite right. So yeah, I think it's a reference to the Secret Box episode. The reason, like at the start of the game, we had, 3 pieces of health which are represented by underwear. And in the Secret Box episode, SpongeBob's telling Patrick all of his secrets to try to get him to tell him what's in the box. And he says, "I'm wearing 3 pairs of underwear right now," and he like pulls up his underwear so Patrick can see them all.
Oh, Mrs. Puff.
Okay, there's Mrs. Puff. So I was right. The seaweed's clipping through Patrick's flesh a little bit there. That seems extremely painful. But yeah, when we were at SpongeBob's house, or actually I think it was on Squidward's at the top, there was a golden pair of underpants that gave us a 4th pair, and we'll find those as we unlock new parts of the overworld in Bikini Bottom. We can find a couple other health upgrades as well. But anyway, let's listen to Mrs. Puff here.
Hello, Patrick. I've got a job for you to do.
Oh boy.
I found a golden spatula, but those robots out on the island stole it and threw it into the lake. If you can figure out how to get it back, you're welcome to it.
I even love like the text box down there at the bottom. Just like the way it's shaped, like a tropical, like a Hawaiian sign or something, which is very in line with like something you would see in the show.
Show enough, Mrs. Puff.
Show enough, Mrs. Puff. But yeah, I love how just the whole user interface and everything. Like if we go into the pause menu, it just feels so faithful to the show. I really love that. But yeah, here we got to. Okay, so I guess I lied. There is another instance where we have to use Patrick's belly flop move here to stun these guys, and then throw them at these little whatever these are supposed to be. It almost looks like drinking fountains or something. But I don't think that's what it is. But whatever it is,
Carry a lot of stuff around.
throw these, and then it'll
That's
drain
much better.
drain the water. And give me one more robot. Thank you. Ow. I said 1, not 2 more robots. Oh my gosh, am I gonna die right here?
Don't think SpongeBob's underwear fits quite
Let's get rid of
right.
those. There we go. That's what we want to see. Hey, gosh, there's still one more. Alright, give me one more robot. Excuse me, pardon me. It's a little disturbing and also concerning that we've got these just random like torpedoes here at the bottom of the ocean. I think SpongeBob is supposed to take place, like this isn't just like a fan theory, like a creepypasta. I think it's like really part of the SpongeBob canon, that it takes place in Bikini Atoll, which is a real life place that's like a nuclear testing site where they blow up a bunch of like nuclear bombs and stuff. So yeah, that's a little unsettling. Does Mrs. Puff have anything new to say?
Well done, Patrick. You're a real star.
Does he get a good noodle star, though?
Can I get a cookie?
No.
No. She's so adamant about that. She is so offended that he asked for a cookie. You know what would have been a neat touch if when you hit Mrs. Puff, if she just puffed up, "Oh, SpongeBob, why?" They should have done that. That would have been great. Is there a thing? Yeah, we can switch over to SpongeBob because they're telling us if we were to read the sign. These little tiki heads here. Yeah, these like kind of blue ones. These blue and gray ones. We gotta tiptoe up to, which only SpongeBob can tiptoe. Look at that face. It's a naughty face SpongeBob's making right now. But yeah, if we just walk up to them normally, they disappear. So we have to go at it kind of slow. I love how SpongeBob's animation changes, and he's got like a scared look on his face, and he's got his arms behind him, and he's just running frantically whenever there's like other robots on the screen. Like, see here, he's normal, he's all happy, smiling, and these robots chase us, and then he's just terrified. So that's a really cool little effect. I don't think that was a thing in the original game, but I don't fully remember. Let's take out this tartar sauce guy. Ow. Please die. And the music in this game is very iconic too. It's got some really good tracks as we go further into the game. The final boss theme is awesome. But yeah, I did kind of hope that they would remaster the soundtrack like they did the visuals, but they didn't do that, unfortunately.
Like a spring breeze.
But you know, because I do really enjoy the music from the original game. But it is, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's you know, it's digital, it's, you know, electronic, it's not made with real instruments. You know, nowadays most games, you know, will have like, you know, orchestrated music as opposed to it being like, you know, MIDI files or whatever. So I don't know, it would have been great to hear this music, like in, you know, with a remastered soundtrack where it's actually like somebody who's playing the ukulele in the background and stuff, you know. But it is what it is. It's that's one of my biggest nitpicks with the remake is that like it would have been great if they had redone the soundtrack. But no, this is still a quality remaster, and I think when it came out at full price, it's only like $40, which I think that's a pretty fair asking price. Like you know, just knowing how greedy these corporates can be. These corporations, I should say. You know, I wouldn't have been surprised at all if they sold it for full price, $60 or $70, but yeah, I think 40 is you know, more than reasonable asking price, and I'm sure this game goes on sale all the time. You can probably get it for dirt cheap. But yeah, let's try not to fall down here because that'll put us further back. We don't want to have to climb this thing all over again here. And I should say, I don't know that this will necessarily be a 100% complete playthrough. We'll get as many spatulas as we can. We'll definitely beat the game and everything. Maybe sometime we go back and get if we miss any spatulas or Patrick's socks. But some of those socks are hidden in pretty devious places, and I've done it before. I've 100% in this game. You know, at least once, maybe a couple times. I never did as a kid, but when the remake came out, I did finally, you know, 100% complete the game. I think as a kid I only got maybe like 97 of the 100 spatulas, which honestly is a pretty decent amount of content. There's 100 golden spatulas to collect. Because like Mario 64 has, you know, 120, and then also like Mario Sunshine, and pretty much all of the Mario 3D platformers typically have 120. So you've got almost as much content in this SpongeBob game, dang it, as as your standard 3D Mario game. So I think that's pretty good. But we did fall a little bit, not all the way. There's some things that we can't get yet, like those pressure plates there that I step on, where SpongeBob will have to use his bubble bowl move, where he can like roll a bubble like a bowling ball, and then he's also got one that's like a I don't remember what it's called, if it's like a rocket bubble. There's another dud, I guess, that didn't go off from the various wars that have taken place in the world of Bikini Bottom. It's until in SpongeBob there is the episode where it says, after the war, Krabs fell into a deep depression that seemed endless. So, like, what did he see? Like, Mr. Krabs, he's probably killed some people, right? Like, I mean, he's seen some crap. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mr. Krabs would be the type to say, like, talk about how.
Feel like a new sponge.
What's that quote about strong men creating easy times, and easy times creating weak men, and weak men creating hard times, and whatever. I think Mr. Krabs would probably share in that sentiment. I think there's even an episode where he's like, "You boys would never have lasted in the Navy." I feel like Mr. Krabs would be very conservative. Mr. Krabs would probably be a Trump supporter. He would be, MAGA all the way. He'd be all for, getting the woke agendas out of schools. We should go through what's every SpongeBob character's political affiliation. Mr. Krabs would be conservative.
I get it.
Plankton he would just be a straight up fascist. I don't know if Mr. Krabs would quite go that far.
Love opening presents.
SpongeBob, he's probably like a libertarian, maybe. Patrick, say, God, what would Patrick be? I don't even know. Patrick's the kind of guy who would vote for that Vermin Supreme guy, who wears like the boot on his head, you know what I'm talking about, with the big long gray beard. Or like Harambe or something. That's who Patrick would waste his vote on. Sandy's probably a Democrat. I wouldn't say she's like an extremely liberal Democrat, though. She's probably a more moderate Democrat. Squidward, I think Squidward might be a Republican. He's kind of a, he's like one of those Republicans that other ones might call the rhinos, because he's not like super into Trump necessarily. Then who else we got? Who would be very liberal? Who would be rocking like Kamala Harris all the way? Gary? I don't know. Who else can we politicize? Larry Lobster. He's probably like I think Larry's an independent, I think he knows that there's a lot of bogus stuff in the media, just on both sides, just pushing a lot of biased narratives. Larry, he's independent. Who else? Bubble Bass.
Bubble Buddy.
Bubble Bass doesn't vote. He still stays at home in his mom's basement.
Step quietly there. That king jellyfish
Bubble
is
Buddy,
just
I
up
think
at
he
the
would be
top
for
of this
Bernie
path.
Sanders. Bubble Buddy's
Good
kind of,
luck.
he gives off
You'll
like
need it.
socialism vibes a little bit,
Thanks, Bubble Buddy.
Thanks, Bubble Buddy. Knock his
I
hat
feel
off.
like a new sponge.
Kevin the Sea Cucumber, he's a Republican. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, they're older guys. They're probably, they might be more Republican.
I knew the king jellyfish was big, but who knew he had such a beautiful voice?
Flats the Flounder, he's a liberal. You wouldn't think it, but he actually does care a lot about social causes, and fighting inequality. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know how long I've been going with this politicizing SpongeBob characters. And I do feel the need to say that whatever I say is just complete stupidity. Just to reiterate, it's just a disclaimer. I ain't giving any of my political views here. Everything I'm saying is just me being stupid. I don't particularly care what you believe, as long as you're not, wishing death and harm upon people. It's kind of the main thing. I want this to be a pretty open community where, if you're conservative, if you're liberal, we're just vibing, we're just having a good time. I ain't here to vilify anybody, whatever your beliefs. We're playing SpongeBob for Pete's sake. Oh, and there's the jelly we were looking for. Thank you very much, King Jellyfish, from the episode with Kevin the Sea Cucumber. And, my legs are getting tired. My leg! But anyway, we drained the moat, we got the jelly. We'll take that back to Squidward at the start of the level here. First we gotta slide down this, where's it at? Here. Where'd the slide go? Over here, I think. Sea nut brittle? Yeah, here we go. SpongeBob slides down on his tongue like he does in the, I think was it the I Had an Accident episode, where he breaks his bottom or whatever. And yeah, I am taking damage from hitting these exploding tikis, but we get a lot of shiny objects from it, so that's kind of why I'm doing it. It's not like there's really a penalty to dying anyways. You don't really have any lives in this game, really. So it's whatever. It is what it is. And there's a golden spatula up there. We got it. Now let's teleport back up there because I think there was actually a sock that we might have missed. So let's, oh no. Oh no. Crap, did I not activate the box up there? Shoot. That ain't good. There's Larry.
See, no problem. You could do anything you set your mind and your muscle to.
Yeah, I think we missed a line of dialogue there because where we talked to Larry after getting the golden spatula. Where does it take us if we just drown ourselves here? Are we gonna just respawn down here with Larry, or will we be back at the top?
I'm ready.
Okay, good deal.
Ready.
Good deal. Okay, yeah, there's the box. Let's grab that. Then we'll do the slide one more time and get that other sock. I think there are one or two other socks I might have missed, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if we'll go for 100% in this playthrough or not, but we'll get as much as we can. Now, where is the sock? I think it's in here. No. Well, it's somewhere along this path, I believe. So let's just, yeah, there we go. There it is. We got 12 socks. I love when you fall out of bounds how the SpongeBob hand comes and gets you and puts you back on the track, although it kind of glitched out a little bit. So yeah, the remake's not perfect. There's some little hiccups here and there. Some of that can be attributed to the pandemic kind of messing up production. I like how when we hit Larry, he just kind of brushes it off. He just... Don't scratch the paint. But yeah, some of it might have been Nickelodeon not quite giving them enough time and resources. I think they maybe rushed the game out supposedly for the third movie, the Sponge on the Run, I think it is, where Gary goes missing, which ended up getting delayed because of the pandemic. So it was kind of ironic they rushed out the game for a movie that would end up not coming out for another year or two or something. I don't even know how long it took. But let's give Squidward his King Jellyfish jelly.
Yeah. Oh, that feels so much better.
I didn't need to hear that. Oh, yeah. Oh, that feels so much better. I was watching a video of SpongeBob Flash games that released in 1999 when the show first came out. There's a line in the Krusty Krab Pizza episode where Squidward says, "Oh, my back." And there's this old licensed game where you use your mouse and you move it, and it moves, like you're in a boat, like a boatmobile. SpongeBob's taking his driving test. Squidward's not even in the game. It's just you and Mrs. Puff. And, you collect something that fills up this, turbo meter that lets you go fast. But if you try to activate it, like if you click to use the boost meter, when it's not full for whatever reason, it plays a sound effect where Squidward just goes, oh, and every time you press it, he just makes that same sound. It's so funny. But anyway.
Anything for my best friend Squidward. Can I rub some on?
SpongeBob, you're not beating the gay allegations. Let's take it down a notch here. This is borderline sexual harassment. Why are you asking to rub his jellyfish jelly on, SpongeBob?
What if I just gave you this?
Alright, we've got our 11th spatula. We're honestly over 1/10 of the way done. We're more than 10% because this game has 100 spatulas to get. We're actually going to get 2 more here, I think, or at least 1 more, because we can get one from Patrick where we found enough socks, and then we'll also talk to Mr. Krabs. I don't know if we have enough shiny objects to get one from him yet. We needed 3,000. I've not really been keeping track. How many have we got here? How do I view it? Okay, oh yeah, we got plenty enough. Okay, let's talk to old Eugene here.
So, do you want to trade shiny objects for a golden spatula? That's quality craftsmanship, that is. Come again.
Thank you, Mr. Krabs. Thank you. Now we'll talk to Patrick, give him his socks back. God only knows what he's going to do with them because he never wears socks, but,
Now
you
they're
know,
back home, safe where they belong.
not my place to judge.
Here's your golden back scratcher.
Spatula.
I don't speak Italian.
There we go. It's our 13th spatula. So yeah, I guess on the next episode we'll do Goo Lagoon. We only need 2 more to go to the next area here. But yeah, we got Goo Lagoon. We've also got downtown Bikini Bottom. I guess we could do that one. That one requires less spatulas, so I think technically I guess the intended order is to play that one first. But I always do Goo Lagoon first. I don't really like downtown Bikini Bottom that much. It's not one of my favorite levels. But yeah, we're done with our first level in the game. I hope you guys have enjoyed the playthrough thus far. Stay tuned for much more. As next time we take on Goo Lagoon. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I finally got around to starting our Battle for Bikini Bottom playthrough, and we will continue this very shortly. So yeah, until next time, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're interested, and if not, that's cool too. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and oh my lord, SpongeBob's eyes are getting gouged out. Okay, he's fine. Now he's just looking at his feet. Alright, bye-bye, everybody. Oh, it's happening again.